Oh, hi there, Dan Amrick, One of Swords for Activision. I'm the community manager, and this is One of Swords TV, where I try to answer your questions. You have to send me your questions about Activision or gaming or my job or whatever to YouTube at oneofswords.com, and I'll try to answer it on a future episode. This week's question comes from Wil Wydeck of Elkton, South Dakota. He is Elkton Dad on Twitter, and he says he wants to know two things, actually, about my office, where I am not. By the way, this is not my office. What you're seeing right now is home, because I was just in Times Square for the Skylanders launch event. The game launches this weekend, and we had a big public party for Skylanders in New York, represent, and I just got back, so I decided to just work from home today. But my office is also being remodeled, and he says, with this office remodeling that you've been talking about, are you now in a permanent office space, and if so, when do we get a virtual tour? And secondly, does Activision in general do a tour? If I were to stop by the office, would I be able to come in and see what it's like inside Activision's offices? And how many Activision offices are there, and which one are you in? All good questions, and questions I think a lot of people would like to know. Yes, there are multiple offices for Activision. Every studio has its own office. Treyarch is in Santa Monica, not far. Infinity Ward is a little bit further up in the valley. Then you've got Raven out in Wisconsin. You've got Beanox in Quebec. You've got Vicarious Visions in Albany, New York. So there's all these little sort of, all the studios are sort of run like independent companies. They're allowed to live and work and be and do whatever they want to do to get their work done completely independently. Activision's home base is really here in Santa Monica, down here in Los Angeles, and that's the office where I work. But that office, as a result, because all the kind of really fun stuff happens in the game development studios, those are the studios that have a lot of character, they have a lot of, cool designs going on, and it feels like a really fun creative space, because it is a really fun creative space. I'm where accounting and the lawyers are, and marketing, and sort of like the nuts and bolts that you still need, all really important stuff. But that's why it's never been a very visually arresting office, and why they don't give tours, because I don't think it's really the kind of stuff that, here's where we do the marketing. It just doesn't seem to lend itself. Now, as I have mentioned, yes, our office is getting a long overdue remodel, and it looks gorgeous now, but there's not enough of it done for me to show you much of it, not to do a virtual tour or for to have you come in and get a walkthrough. I've been sneaking out a couple of pictures on Twitter now and then when I see something. We have a gorgeous new kitchen. We have a gameplay area so that if you want to take a 15-minute break, you can come over, sit down, put on some headphones, play a game. You know what it's like. You need to scratch that itch. And, of course, sometimes there are Activision games, but there's kiosks with Grand Theft Auto and Bioshock Infinite and the Lego games. Like, they rotate stuff so that, we all like playing games at Activision, so they're not just Activision games. So while that area of the office looks really gorgeous, it's taken several months to just get the first stage done, and it is a multi-stage process where they're going to be renovating different parts of the building over the next, at least a year. So I'm not going to be able to have something that I can show you like this is the glory of the Activision office. While it does look a lot better, Activision, to my knowledge, has never done public tours. And even after they get done the office renovation, they might not do public tours because it's really not a public space. Occasionally I have seen people do special charity events or something like that, or celebrities will get toured, through the Treyarch offices. I've seen some NBA guys come in, stuff like that. But I don't know that it would necessarily live up to your expectations, and it certainly wouldn't live up to your expectations to see the Activision offices now while they're under heavy construction. So, sorry to be a bummer, but yeah, it's not worth showing up here in Santa Monica and saying, take me to the Activision offices, because they won't really let you in. It's a private building. Sorry. If you have a question for me about Activision or Activision games, or the way things work, or what I do, or whatever, send it to YouTube at oneofswords.com. I'll do my best to answer it on a future show. I'm happy to say I have a backlog of some pretty interesting questions, so if you've sent one in and I haven't read it yet, don't despair. I will get to it in all good time. But I always have room for more, so send it on in. And obviously, the rest of my information is all posted over at oneofswords.com. I have a big article about the clans in Call of Duty Ghosts this week, so if you haven't checked that out, very informative. Hopefully that's the kind of information you're looking for from me. But go to oneofswords.com, check it out, and there's podcasts and giveaways and all that kind of fun stuff, too. Until then, I'll do another letter next week. Thanks for watching, and have a good one.